Hey, you can call me Midge, and today we are playing The Vampire Therapist. Before we get started, I gotta say that I recorded almost 2 hours of me playing this yesterday, only to realize that the audio sounded like shit. My voice was way louder than the game audio, and it just was not good, and I don't have the skills to fix that. I have very little experience editing video, let alone audio. So yeah, so unfortunately you are not going to see the first several achievements that I got playing yesterday. That kind of sucks, but whatever. And I also went on a rant about cognitive distortions yesterday that I'm going to try to avoid today. I do want to preface this game by saying that I have a master's degree in psychology, but not mental health specific. I studied forensic psychology, so where psychology meets the law. I am not a licensed therapist. I do not have a mental health degree. I am interested in that stuff, and I attend therapy as a regular person. But I am interested in this game. I love spooky stuff, as you're well aware if you've been watching this channel at all. I love psychology, obviously. I spent a lot of money and did a lot of schooling to learn about it. And this game benefits right here. It says in the corner here that it benefits mental health charities, and it was developed alongside therapists, so that's pretty cool. And it focuses on cognitive behavioral techniques, so that's pretty interesting. I'm excited to see where this goes. I am a little upset that my very first little bit, the lead up to the game and the first client that we see, that you're not gonna see my initial reaction to it because my recording sucked. But that's okay. We will start again, and I'm really excited. So let's play some Vampire Therapist. Let's counsel some bloodsuckers. Oh. Vampire Therapist explores or touches on sensitive topics such as war, abuse, addiction, sexual oppression, suicidal ideation, religion, and of course death. These may be uncomfortable or upsetting for some readers. We recommend that readers with a history of trauma related to any of these topics approach this game with caution. So this is your cue to step out if this is not something you want. Naturally, a game about vampires will also involve blood and sexual themes. Strong language is also present. Vampire Therapist was developed in consultation with licensed therapists, but should not be considered a substitute for therapy, unless you're a vampire. And I will say, it gets to the sexual stuff pretty quick right in the beginning. So if that's not your thing, I get it. And I'll see ya in Stardew or something. Here we go. I think we're going. There we go.
My name is Sam Walls, and I'm a dead man.
I think he's actually
kinda dead at
Arthur
least.
Morgan.
See, I'm a vampire. Now, if you think that means all that Dracula hooey, like hissing, wearing skin-tight leather, and hunting mortals for sport, I wouldn't blame you one bit. That's exactly the sort of thing I did in my younger years with my former gang. And let me tell you, a vampire who's good with a gun can be a real terror. I got lucky, though. I met some kind mortals who saw beyond my fangs. They taught me my letters and showed me how my thinking was keeping me from finding any kind of peace. After they passed on, I roamed America's majestic wilderness for nigh on 90 years, figuring out myself and what it means to be a vampire. And I found revelation. What I realized was, it ain't fangs that make us monsters. It's the self-defeating ways we think. Anywho, as the world started getting smaller, my old vampire gang tracked me down. Them being my kin, I wanted to help them see the world like I did, but they still have the same monster mindset I used to have. Good thing I'm a quick draw. But I got hooked up with this newfangled internet thing and found a vampire who's helping my kin find their way. Fella named Andromachos, supposed to be 3,000 years old. He invited me to come out to Europe to learn from him. I figure someone older than time has got to have the answers. I'm going on a trip, I guess. This feels like my opportunity to do some good in the world. I've been lucky, and now it's time to give back. Vampires ain't monsters. Or at least, they don't have to be. And come hell or high water, I'm gonna prove it to them.
Vampire Therapist. I do feel like this is got to be some kind of nod to Arthur Morgan, because it's pretty close in a lot of ways. Leipzig, 2024.
Well, I think this is the address. Number 27, Clean Flitter Mouse Streeb?
That's how I felt sometimes playing Truberbrook.
Sure is a hell of a lot of ruckus for this time of night. People stay up late here. Wait a minute. These folk are vampires. Better watch myself. Guten Abend, folks. Sprechen Sie English?
Ja, hello, Alta. Are you here to party with us at the hottest club?
Yeah, sure. We'll tell them we're here to party.
I can cut loose. What kind of party is this?
It's a kind where we dance all night and get sexy.
Oh, we're them kind of vampires.
Ach so, there are better things to suck than blood, oder?
Oh my gosh.
Although we have to get past the bouncer first. If we do not, I'm thinking our night is ruined.
Oh, wait a sec. There's something about what she just said. I can feel it. It reminds me of one of my revelations about the funny patterns in the way we vampires think. Well, let's see. One type of thinking I noticed I called hot branding. That's when we brand ourselves with names we can't get rid of.
I'm going to avoid the big rant I did yesterday, but I will say this is one aspect of the game that I have not liked. He starts out with these very common psychological concepts and he calls them something else. So he calls like hot branding, saloon thinking, and then there's one other one. And instead of just keeping those names, you meet this other vampire who tells you another name for them. So essentially you're taking a concept and learning 3 names for it, because there's like the clinical name, what he calls them, and then what this other vampire does. And I don't like that. I think that made it extra confusing, because for me, I'm trying to connect, okay, what is I don't know, control theories or whatever, or you know, all these different, you'll see in a second, but the actual names of these things and then connecting them to this game-centric terminology, which I don't appreciate. You could have either kept it all clinical names or kept one game name. Don't change it at the partway through. It's like I said yesterday in my playthrough, like it's like say you go to Psych 101 and they teach you what all these names and these acronyms mean. And then you go to Psych 102 and then your professor's like, no, that's not correct. It's these instead. Like, that's frustrating. Just stick to one term, okay? But other than that, I think this is going to be a fun game. But that concept irritated me.
There's high noon mind. That's when we treat a situation like it's a do or die showdown. And there's saloon thinking. That's when we act either helpless or invincible, like we've just drunk a pint of moonshine. I can always check my journal if I need examples. I kept all my notes about the funny ways we vampires think in there.
All right, let's check the journal. Collected, this is very Arthur Morgan, I'm telling you. Collected notes of Sam Walls. Private property, do not read. Reward if found. Cowboybloodsucker@vmail.com. I found this old notebook and figured I'd take it with me to Europe. I figure it'll help me organize my thoughts. I'll separate it into sections so I can jump to them right quick. That way, when I need to get to a particular section of my notes, all I gotta do is hop over to that section. That was a very convoluted paragraph to say what you said in the very first sentence. Easy as falling off a horse, and falling off a horse is real easy. Okay, so we got cognitive distortions, my clients, and my ramblings. The funny ways we think. I realized we vampires can think in funny ways sometimes, like reality is right in front of us and we just can't see it. Heck, pretty sure it's all humans who do that, not just vampires. We do think funny thinking in particular ways. So I figured I'd write them down so I don't forget them. I'll include examples so I remember how they work. High noon mind. Sometimes things can seem black and white. Win or lose, famine or feast, live or die, like everything's a big showdown. It can feel like we've got only 2 options, winning the day or ending up with a stake in the heart. This is essentially black and white thinking. That's high noon mind. It's thinking in extremes and ignoring all the in-between. We stress ourselves out when stakes are high. Examples. If I can't get to the best saddle, my butt's gonna break, ain't no doubt. Either I show up ready to win the rodeo or I'd better just not show up. The fate of the Wild West is hanging on this gunfight. Saloon thinking. A lot of us bloodsuckers have a habit of either feeling responsibility or sole control, or of feeling completely hopeless. Thing is, usually neither is true. Feeling hopeless don't mean we're powerless, and feeling untouchable don't mean we're invincible. That's saloon thinking. Either way, our real capabilities are somewhere in between. Examples. With my dark powers, vampires shall dominate the mortal world. If a mortal discovers our secret, it's entirely my responsibility to deal with it. I can't deal with the bureaucracy of international travel with my coffin. I'm stuck in the USA forever. Hot branding. We vampires sometimes call ourselves awful names. This is labeling, essentially. And this is like believing you're always in control or have no control whatsoever. I think it's called like control theory. We vampires sometimes call ourselves awful names. I'm a failure. I'm unlikable. It's like burning ourselves with a big old branding iron. Every time we look at ourselves, we'll keep seeing those names. Hot branding is just calling ourselves names that do no good. Examples. I missed that shot. I'm such a butterfingers. Crying over a horse? You're sappy as hell. That fella doesn't like wearing leather. He's only a vampire wannabe. Client notes. When I start getting therapy clients, I'll put my notes about them here. I'll update after every session, so that's good to know. I figure I can see how they're doing over time. That is, if Andromachos decides I'm ready for this whole therapist business. Crossing my fingers. My journal, just for writing my ramblings while I'm on this big trip, not my official notes. March 14th, 2024. It's been about a week since I boarded the Monster of the Seas cruise ship, and I gotta say, I feel finer than frog hair. People here are eating and screwing like there's no tomorrow on account of the fact that we're in the middle of the ocean. I've drank from more necks in the last week than I can count. And since the ship's open all night, I rode a water slide for the first time in my unlife. People were laughing at me for saying, "Yeehaw," but what else do you say to an experience like that? March 22nd. I landed in Rotterdam the other day, in Amsterdam now arranging transportation for my coffin. Did some vampire sightseeing. Apparently this place has been accepting of heathens like us for a long time. I went to a vampire coffee shop. They funnel in the stoners from upstairs to a secret club, and everyone has themselves a grand old time. Gave me the munchies something fierce. I could go for some blood chips. Extra sodium, if you please. April 9th. Writing from Berlin today. I head to Leipzig tomorrow night, but I figured I should check things out here. They got a club here where people are up all night doing all kinds of kinky stuff. I'm pushing a quarter of a millennium in years, but these folk could give me some lessons, and did. Met some fine folk too. Apparently they've got a nice art scene here. There's even local funding for a video game development. Ain't that some kind of world? I can't believe people are still playing Star Invaders and whatnot. I like it here. I don't even have to speak German. Alright, that's the end of that.
I think I know which one of them funny ways they're thinking in, though. Hold on, compadres. You seem like the kind who can make their own fun.
I don't want to have my own fun. Imenacht is the only place to be on Friday night.
Amigos, you're putting too much weight on this thing. It's a nightclub, not a high noon showdown. The night's full of possibilities.
Reinhard, I don't know what this means, but I like the way the sexy American talks.
You make us think that maybe it is better we haven't gotten into the club, because we are now meeting you.
Hey, if meeting me makes your night better, I'm glad we met. I really gotta find Andromachos, though.
You have to get past the bouncer. He decides who gets in and who doesn't. And he hasn't looked our way all night.
Maybe I'll have a little word with him. Excuse me, friend. I hear you're the man to talk to around these parts.
I love his stretched lobes.
I'm here to see Andromachos.
Have fun, mate.
Hey, thanks, amigo. You have yourself a fine night, you hear?
Cowboy, what about us?
Cowboy. Yeah, bring them in.
Yeah, sure. They're friends of mine.
Why not?
Have fun, mate.
Well, come on, you two. We ain't got all night. Yeah! Dang, awful loud in here.
Come on, my liver, dance with us!
Oh, you kids have fun. I'll catch up with you later. Darnation, I'd rather hear a gopher giving birth than this.
Go for giving birth.
I better talk to whoever's slinging drinks in this here saloon. They ought to know where Andromachos is. But pardon me, ma'am.
Well, well, look at you.
Gorgeous.
We get a lot of 80s fashion in here, but not usually the 1880s. What can I get you, cowboy? The special's Red Bull and vodka. You down?
I never drink Red Bull. I'm actually looking for the owner. He around tonight?
Might be. What do you say your name was?
Sam Walls, begging your pardon.
Sam Walls, huh? I don't think I know anything about a Sam Walls. After all, I'm just a know-nothing bartender.
That's hot branding or labeling.
From where I'm standing, I see someone with style and confidence, not just a drink machine. Don't go branding yourself like that's all you are.
Don't you go worrying about me, cowboy. The man upstairs warned me you were coming. I was just testing to see if you are who you say you are. Tell you what, let me give you something from our special reserve. I don't think you're looking for booze.
Well, thank you kindly, ma'am. I was wondering where the blood was. I met some vampires outside, so I figured this was a vampire club.
You met some goths, honey. They're here to
He met
dance and have
goths.
fun.
I thought they were vampires.
So all these people are mortals?
How do you think the head vampire gets his blood? They can't wait to share it with him. It's a special experience.
The art style is very cool in this. Come on.
He's the
there we go.
only real vampire here. Well, him and Bert.
Bert?
You met him already. Bert, shuffle on over.
Bert.
This one's here to see the big guy. Show him upstairs, okay?
Have fun, mate.
Is that all he says?
Good luck up there, cowboy.
Wonder how much
Hope you
that voice
find what
actor
you're
got
looking
paid.
for.
This is fully voice acted, which is also nice. Except for me reading the journal entries and stuff, I won't have to do a lot of reading for this, so spare y'all my stumblings.
Howdy. It's Sam Walls to see you, sir. The guy who's been sending you all them V-mails.
Yes, I know who you are, Samuel Walls.
That voice.
You have come here because you believe you can help our kin. The question is, are you first able to help yourself?
Can you imagine what it must be like to go through life with a voice like that? Wow. I'm gonna say I can't help myself. I can't help myself. I don't know. I don't remember what I picked yesterday when I played this. I'm gonna say I can.
I've been fixing myself for more than a century now. I don't think I need help.
That's not really the right answer, bud.
Then you must prepare to learn a most difficult lesson. We all need help, Samuel. I am pleased that you have come to receive mine.
Handsome. Look at them shoulders. Look at the width of those shoulders. Goodness gracious. No wonder he's got that voice.
Dang, you scared the heck out of me.
You must allow an ancient vampire his games. He will play them regardless. Please, sit down. What an absolute pleasure it is to meet you at last. I found your messages most intriguing.
I'm sorry I keep sniffling. I've had a really runny nose today. It's annoying. It's like, I don't know if it's allergies or what, but it's really irritating.
Afraid there ain't much here in the way of intrigue. I'm just a lonesome cowboy looking for answers.
You know, I receive emails every day from vampires seeking my help. You are the very first to seek my aid in helping others. This alone makes you intriguing.
Well, dang. I think you're gonna be sorely disappointed when you get to talking to me. I'm just honored you're giving me the time of night.
I have unlimited time, Samuel. I am pleased to share some of it with you. Our kind can be rather set in their ways. It is inspiring to see someone so young and eager to learn.
Yeah, well, I wasn't much for learning when I was alive. Just making up for lost time, I guess.
It sounds as though you have been handling your own life better than most. I was particularly intrigued by these revelations you had while walking in nature.
Oh yeah, them. Well, I give walking the credit. Nothing sorts my thoughts out better. After a few decades, I started seeing patterns in the way we vampires think.
Can you explain some of these patterns?
I've tried to explain them to other vampires, but it ain't never gone well. I can try, though. See, we tend to assume certain things just because we've been believing them since we were alive. Or we decide the world's against us just because we're hungry or tired or something.
Don't we all?
And when we start tackling problems that ain't real, we ain't fixing our real problems. That make any kind of sense?
Fascinating, Samuel. These revelations that you had in the woods, mortal psychologists have a term for them. They are called cognitive distortions.
Cognitive whoozy what now?
Who's he what now?
Cognitive distortions. They are exactly as you described them. I will explain in a moment. Please, tell me about these specific revelations you had.
Okay, we'll just start at the top. Explain high noon mind.
Well, I noticed how we stress ourselves out by making everything a battle of do-or-die absolutes. High noon mind, I call it. Like that feeling you get right before a big shootout.
I must confess I have no experience with this feeling. I engaged in Mortal Kombat long before the age of gunpowder. But the sentiment you describe mirrors the words of my old friend Marcus Aurelius. He used to say that the magnitude of life's challenges often turn us into our worst selves.
You mean Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor?
Of course, his name was Marcus. Marcus was a bedroom name.
You mean you and the emperor were...
It was ancient Rome. Penetration was similar to a handshake.
Oh my god.
My apologies. I somehow forgot you were American. But let us discuss this high noon mind. I believe we can broaden your definition. Mortal psychologists call this phenomenon of binary thought polarized thinking, but I like to call it Nosferatu thinking.
You see what I mean? Like, you're giving it a third name. Like, keep either the clinical name or his high noon mind, or whatever he called it. Like, why give it 3 names? That's so confusing.
Nosferatu thinking?
It means you are thinking in black and white.
I mean, that's clever. Because Nosferatu was a black and white film. Like, that's clever. But at the same time, like, is the joke worth how confusing that is?
I get it. That's pretty funny.
I believe it encompasses the breadth of the distortion. One is not flatly weak or strong, good or evil, smart or stupid, a success or a failure. The truth is far more complex and colorful. Not every high noon gunfight ends in oblivion, correct?
Well, yeah, that's true. Getting shot still ain't fun, but it ain't the end neither.
Depends on where you're shot, I guess.
A perfect example, Samuel. Now, try to catch me using Nosferatu thinking. I will give you a series of statements, and one of them will contain Nosferatu thinking. I will repeat them if you miss it.
I'm going to go ahead and just go through all of the statements so we can hear all of them, and then we'll make a choice.
If I do not drink blood, I will surely die. Death eventually comes for us all. Mortals will always fear our kind. Did you miss my Nosferatu thinking? Let me start over. If I do not drink blood, I will surely die.
You have to drink blood. That's not a distortion.
Death eventually comes for us all.
It does. That's not a distortion.
Mortals will always fear our kind.
That is Nosferatu.
That's Nosferatu thinking right there. I've met mortals who knew who I was and weren't scared.
See, I was already confused by which one is the black and white. Like, because this has thinking in it, so I was thinking, like, both of them have thinking in it, so I'm like, what? Which one is which? It's like, just keep the names consistent, please.
Very good, Samuel. And even if you hadn't, to say mortals will always fear us ends any hope that they might not. Always is such a terminal word, is it not? Would you like to discuss more of your revelations with me?
Explain saloon thinking.
I realize that as vampires, we can get the feeling of the power that comes with immortality and strength, but then we get hopeless and aimless over time. It's kind of like the fella you see in the saloon at the bottom of a bottle of whiskey. Either he thinks he can fight everyone, or he's crying into them last drops because he thinks life's hopeless. It's saloon thinking. 2 extremes that probably ain't true.
A fascinating observation, Samuel. Your saloon thinking was described in my time as the battle between hubris and nemesis, the twin excesses of arrogance and self-pity.
Oh man, it make me wish I'd gotten some schooling. Maybe I would have figured this stuff out earlier.
You live forever, my friend. There is no rush. What you have identified is a phenomenon where individuals perceive either an illusion of control or a lack of control. Mortal psychologists call this phenomenon
Control
you have
fallacy,
described
yeah.
a control fallacy.
Not theory fallacy.
Rarely do we have complete power over our situations or no power at all. But we create this illusion that stops us from attempting to change our perceived situations.
Yeah, you're right about that. I used to think I'd never get away from my gang, and maybe that's what made me stick with them for so long.
Yes, you see how cognitive distortions keep us from facing reality, whatever that reality may be. Of course, I am so old and powerful that I am always in control.
You're testing me, ain't you? That's a control fallacy right there.
Well done, Samuel. I am indeed very powerful, but the cosmos holds no awareness of Andromachos.
Andromachos.
Of course, as you expertly pointed out with your analogy about the man at the bottom of a whiskey bottle, a control fallacy can be positive or negative. Listen to my next few statements and try to find a control fallacy. Simply let me continue if you do not detect one.
I'm gonna do the same thing of just letting them all play out first. So that way we can hear them all. Why not?
The sun will eventually burn out. I will roam a cold, dead earth, and there is little I can do about it. My kitty cat died. I shall be lonely forever. I shall never feel the warm sun upon my skin again. You didn't catch my control fallacy. Let's try once more. The sun will eventually burn out. I will roam a cold, dead earth, and there is little I can do about it.
I mean, that's true. That's not a fallacy.
My kitty cat died. I shall be lonely forever.
It feels that way, but it's not true because you can heal and you could possibly get another cat, not to replace them. I mean, I definitely understand that. My puppy passed away 2 years ago. I say puppy, he was 16. And we have a new dog now, and I love him to death, but it's not the same. But it does get better. So you're not lonely forever.
I'm sorry about your sweet kitty, but you can always pick up a new one. Or there's lots of them just waiting for a loving home, so you don't need to be lonely.
It was just an example, Samuel. Well spotted. But I do speak from experience. I felt this way once when a pharaoh I was dating had our cat mummified. I went into a murderous depression that nearly decimated the continent. But I had the power to help myself all along by adopting a new friend in need of a home.
Oh, dang, don't let me get on your bad side.
I doubt you shall see it, Samuel. Did you have more revelations to tell me about?
Hot branding.
See, I used to be in a gang. They were my whole existence. If you asked me who I was, I would have said, I'm a murdering bastard. Once I got away, I realized how small-minded that was. I was Sam before I was a murdering bastard, but that's how I was choosing to brand myself.
This is where I went on the long rant yesterday. I'm not going to do it again. Part of me wants to because I take issue with the way that this is explained in this game, but it's probably boring to people who aren't interested in this shit, and y'all are just here to see some vampires get therapy. You're not here to hear my take on psychotherapy.
My old gang's still around, and they're still branding themselves like that. They can't see themselves as anything but killers.
And I guess since I'm not a licensed therapist, my opinions don't really matter anyways.
Very astute, Samuel. I favor the clinical term, however, which is labeling. You correctly discovered that labeling is a reductive act. When we call ourselves names, even if we find them accurate, we create prophecies we are doomed to fulfill. For millennia, I thought of myself as a killer. It was not untrue that killing was how I made my way in the world. I was an unstoppable warrior and assassin. But with this label, I limited myself for ages. I did not only kill people, I also killed potential aspirations I might have had. See whether you can catch me doing some labeling in my next few statements. I am so old, I am ancient.
He is ancient, so not really. I mean, I'm just gonna keep going. I don't want to get caught in the weeds like I did yesterday.
Call me whatever you like, but don't call me late for dinner.
That's just a silly
How
joke.
shall I describe myself? Yes, I am a mass murderer.
That's the
Well, that's
labeling.
about as clear a labeling as it gets. Yeah, we vampires tend to do a lot of killing, but reducing ourselves to killers ain't doing us any favors.
I just have to say one thing about it. If you are actively killing people, you are a murderer. That's not a bad label. That's a correct label. Okay? And this is where I get lost in the weeds here because I don't think there's anything wrong with acknowledging even the negative labels of yourself, right? That's a part of growth and healing, is to say like, hey, this is problematic. Let's fix this. And the game really glosses over that and makes it where like all labels are either good or bad. And that's not true. There's nuance, is what I went on my rant yesterday saying. There's nuance to this that this game really overlooks.
Excellent, Samuel. You are correct. Labels can be cages that we lock ourselves in. I was a mere murderer for most of my existence because that is how I labeled myself.
We're just gonna keep going.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Sam Walls, the murderer, reprobate, and good for nothing.
Those are not how I would describe the Sam Walls I see before me. Did you have more revelations to tell me about?
I think that's all of them. Or at least the ones that were the most obvious to me.
That you recognize the concept of cognitive distortions at all is most impressive, Samuel. What took me nearly 3 millennia to understand took you merely 2 centuries.
Oh, come on, you're just flattering me. I'm just a dope stumbling his way through one life.
Cognitive distortion
Are you
alert.
now? Tell me, Samuel, what kind of cognitive distortion are you exhibiting when you call yourself a dope?
Yeah, I'm doing some labeling. I gotta watch myself, huh?
As long as we retain any humanity, we will have cognitive distortions. What we are aiming for is not to become perfect beings, but to understand and accept ourselves.
And part of that is recognizing when a label, even if it's a negative label, it has the potential to be a positive in your life because you can change it. That's all I'm going to say.
As long as we can recognize cognitive distortions, we can address our real challenges.
Yes, and part of that is acknowledging the bad parts of yourself.
One cannot drink blood from a straw man, after all.
I ain't never heard that one before, but I like it.
If it helps solidify the concept in your mind, then I am well satisfied. I know you came to learn from me, so I will do my best to honor your good intentions. Let us ensure that you understand the concepts of labeling, control fallacies, and Nosferatu thinking. I will give you a series of statements, and each one will contain a cognitive distortion for you to identify. I will begin. If I invite over my vampire friends, I know I'm going to have to deal with guano all over the place when they turn into bats at the end of the night.
I think that's control fallacy.
So there's a control fallacy, sir. You're acting like you've got no control, but you could lay down some ground rules for guests, or some newspaper.
Newspaper.
Or express concern to my friends that they have not been toilet trained. Very good, Samuel. Let me try another. I am Andromachus, the ancient
Andromachus.
darkness, the scourge of the Mediterranean, the mortal's bane.
Well, that's definitely some intense labeling. Those are some hard names to get over.
You are not wrong. Those names followed me for millennia. It was most stifling. Let me try another then.
This is also where I went off on a rant. I'm not going to do it. I want to real bad, but I'm not going to do it.
If my club's revenues do not significantly increase, I will end up living on the street.
Oh, no, wait.
Oh, I clicked the wrong
This
one, I'm
is some
sorry.
extreme thinking. I know there's a cognitive distortion.
Yeah.
If my club's revenues...
There's got to be Nosferatu thinking. There's a huge space between
That's
making a
why
ton
it
of profit and
confuses
living
me
on the
about
street.
using the different names, because this is polarized thinking, right? But I'm not going to explain my thought process there, but yeah, it's confusing. All I'm going to say is confusing. Just call it what it is. Don't call it Nosferatu thinking. It's not. The joke was funny, but it doesn't need to perpetuate through the whole game.
Indeed, you are correct. I run my club at a considerable loss, but 3,000 years of banking interest means that money is not really an object to me anyway.
I wish.
Samuel, now I am not only intrigued by you, but also impressed. I would very much like to teach you my ways, but I must demand something of you first.
Anything. I'm here to learn.
You must receive therapy yourself. I will not have you seeing clients without a commitment to your own mental health.
All therapists should be getting therapy.
Oh, now, hold on just a minute. I don't know that I need therapy. I'm feeling pretty good about myself these days.
Samuel, we all need therapy to live in this world. You have been speaking in cognitive distortions since the moment you walked into my office.
I have. I didn't even notice.
They are most insidious, but I am here to help you identify and challenge them. You have walked alone for too long, Samuel. Allow me to share my experience with you.
Well, all right, if you say so. I appreciate your taking the time to work on this, old cowpoke.
We have all the time in the world, Samuel. But for now, you must be eager for something fresh. Please, dance, drink your fill. We will begin tomorrow.
Okay, then. Well, sir, it's been an honor.
You don't have to call me sir, you know.
All right, then, Andromachus.
Andromachos.
Andromachus.
Hey, Andro.
Just call me Andy.
Just call me Andy.
All right, Andy. I'll see you tomorrow then.
Cute. Back in the club.
Look at all them mortals, sweating, blood pumping. I am thirsty, but there ain't no power on this earth that'll get me on a dance floor.
No kidding. At 40 years old, you could not pay me enough money to go spend a night in a nightclub. At 40 years old, as someone with sensory issues and chronic migraine. That's my absolute fucking nightmare. I didn't even like it when I was young. I just did it because everybody else was doing it.
Maybe I'll see if the bartender's got anything for me.
And I don't drink, so there's really no reason. No way.
If it isn't Clint Eastwood again.
Clint
How'd it
Eastwood.
go, cowboy?
Seems I'll be sticking around. Guess I better get used to things around here.
Good to hear. About time someone helped Andy with his work. Seems you vampires have a lot of problems to fix. Name's Crimson, by the way.
She is gorgeous.
Fine meeting you, Crimson. How do you know so much about what Andy's doing?
Pillow talk. I'm his blood partner.
No shit. How's a mortal get hooked up with an ancient vampire?
I'm a rock climber. I stumbled into one of his lairs in Madagascar, found a cave while climbing a mountain, and there he was, naked in a hot tub.
What a sight. Can you imagine that?
Dang. Must have been a sight.
You ain't kidding, cowboy. Didn't expect a luxury apartment with a gorgeous naked vampire inside of a mountain.
No kidding.
We hit it off, and he asked me to come back here with him. I like an adventure, so I said, what the hell? I'll date the gorgeous Dracula.
Yeah, why not?
But what are you doing talking to me, cowboy? The blood's running hot on the dance floor, and these kids don't mind a little biting.
Ain't no way I'm dancing. There's gotta be a better way to get something fresh to drink.
Reinhard, look. It's the sexy old guy again.
You should buy us a drink, old guy. You'll probably get lucky. Actually, you will definitely get lucky.
Pleasures of the flesh ain't exactly what I'm after tonight.
That's because you haven't experienced these pleasures with us yet. Buy us a drink and you will discover great satisfaction by uns.
The voice acting is really great. Tell them they're not my type. Alcohol is bad for them. I'm not gonna tell them they're not my type. I think I chose this yesterday. We'll go with that.
I ain't buying you a drink. I think I'd be insulting your economic status.
Mein Lieber, don't worry about us. We just like to feel special. We have lucrative jobs in IT.
Oh, yeah? Well, maybe you can help me. See, my printer died
Oh,
again.
my God.
Getting real tired of these things.
Please, we are here to party. But get a laser printer.
Seriously.
Well, thanks for the tip. That ink seems to be more valuable than blood.
Do people even use those anymore?
Look, kids, you seem like nice enough folks, but I wasn't planning on buying drinks tonight.
Stop teasing the cowboy, Kinder. They're just messing with you. Drinks are free here.
Dang, really? Ain't never been to a saloon with free hooch.
Call it a drink exchange.
Huh. So, everyone here knows they might be sharing blood?
Only as long as there's consent. We like to create a safe environment here. Why don't you take Reinhard and Maxie here back to the kink room?
Oh my God.
Wait, kink room?
Mm-hmm. You're not in Kansas anymore, cowboy. We are not afraid of sex here.
I'm from Missouri, but point taken.
From Missouri, but point taken.
Nobody has to do anything they don't want to do in there. Just have fun and drink your fill, handsome. I'm sure I'll be seeing plenty of you. Maxie, Reinhard, this is one of our special
I don't know why
customers.
that was so funny to me, but...
Ach so, ein Vampir. I'm thinking we are all getting lucky then.
That guy reminds me of, you ever seen Grandma's Boy? He's like, I got robot legs. That's what he reminds me of.
My neck scrubs with anticipation.
Dang. Guess I'm going to a kink room then. Thanks, Crimson.
I knew a man who wore this much leather couldn't be boring.
Yeah, well, you got me pegged.
Uh-oh.
Is that what we are doing now? Give me the document and I will sign myself up for it.
Oh my God.
Well, I really ain't in Missouri no more. But look, I'm more into biting.
I'm not in Missouri no more.
Oh, your teeth look perfect. Are you going to bite me with those?
There's a little mini game coming up here. It's really easy though. There's like no skill to it.
That's the plan. Who's going first?
Oh, me.
Well, step right on up. Remember, Sammy boy, just stick the tips of them fangs into the blue veins and we'll all have a nice time.
Oh, das
See,
hat
very
sich
easy.
gut angefühlt.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I hope that's a
Is
good
it
thing.
my turn yet?
Well, sure thing. Come on over.
I like her nails.
Oh, Reinhardt, the hot old vampire wore me out.
Me too, Maxi. I feel as though I have set up a mail server.
Reinhardt, mein Sucke Fledermaus. Ich bin so müde, sexy zu sein.
Okay.
I will get us a taxicab, Liebchen. Und du, Cowboy? Next time we will talk about that thing you mentioned earlier.
Pegging?
Oh, yeah, sure thing, fella. You can help me with my new laser printer. Now that I've had something to drink, I should probably get to my coffin.
Samuel, wait a moment. I see you got your fill. Are you heading out?
Ooh, that voice, man. Incredible.
Yeah, I figure I could use some shut-eye. I locked up my coffin over at the storage center.
Storage center? Please, you can use my guest coffin. I insist. You must be well rested for the challenges ahead.
Guess I got a big night tomorrow, huh? I should get a good day's sleep.
Wonderful. Please, follow me.
Well, dang. This is mighty plush. Guess it's one of them smart coffins. Let's see what's on TV. Hey, I remember this movie. We were so proud to finally get some representation.
I don't think I've ever actually seen Nosferatu. I haven't seen the new one either. I want to. Maybe I should watch the original first and then watch that. I know it looks funny, like cheesy now, but imagine how scary that was back then. It was made in like the 30s, I think. Damn near 100 years ago. That's nuts. Alright, that's the...
Not sure I should stay up watching movies, though. Well, ain't much else to do in here. I think it's about time I hit the hay. Hope I'm cut out for all this.
Let's look at the journal before, because I think he's got some new stuff. Oh, I didn't mean to close it. Okay. Yeah, okay. Cognitive distortions reminders. I was making sure I hadn't read it all yet. We all make cognitive distortions. Cognitive distortion types ain't weapons to beat ourselves up with. They're just ways to categorize our thoughts. We can exhibit more than one distortion at the same time, and some distortions are even subcategories of other distortions. Important. Identifying cognitive distortions is just one tool in a therapist's toolbox. Empathy and compassion are some of the best tools we've got. Very true. Okay. They've been renamed. So yeah, we got the Nosferatu thinking, which is polarized thinking or black and white thinking, depending on how you want to do it. Control fallacy. We already read this, so I won't do it again. Labeling, renamed again. Client notes. Doesn't have any client notes yet. Where do we leave them? Okay, ain't nothing left. All right.
Samuel, good evening. I hope you slept well.
Like the dead, as they say.
I was hoping to save you some breakfast, but I've already sent them on their way.
Oh, that's all right. I'm still pretty full from last night. Them goth types were practically throwing themselves at me.
I am not surprised. Perhaps I should be concerned that some of my guests will follow you home.
Well, gosh, if I still had mortal circulation, I'd be blushing.
Why are you so embarrassed, Samuel?
Ah, hell. Guess we should just save it for therapy, huh? We gonna get started now?
If you like.
Why not? I'm eager to get going. Let loose, Doc.
Very well. Let's start with the first question any therapist asks then. What brought you to me? Why is becoming a therapist so important to you?
Well, gosh, I remember what it was like, being all angry, hungry, and scared all the time. It ain't no way to live. When I see vampires acting the way I used to, I just need to show them there's more to unlife.
And why is that up to you?
Good question. Sorry, I need some water now.
You, of all people, know how lost our kind can be. Preying on the weak, dating mortal high schoolers. I've got to make them see their potential. That's what I'm here for. I know it.
That is a lot of responsibility to place on yourself.
It is.
You got a funny look in your eye. Am I doing one of them distortion things?
Yep.
You are most perceptive. Yes. Perhaps you can tell me what it is. When you say you are here to make vampires see the world differently, in what way are you distorting reality?
Well, I guess that's a control fallacy, right? I can't assume I'll be able to help other vampires the way I was helped.
Very good, Samuel.
And not
Control
everybody wants your
fallacies are hard to avoid when one feels strongly about something. Your fate is not to transform every vampire you ever meet, even those who are your clients. You will do what you can do, and that is enough.
That's something that I had to talk to my therapist about, because I do crisis counseling. Like, I volunteer as a crisis counselor. And sometimes it's really hard because, number one, you're in a system that's very limits you severely on how you can help people, which kind of sucks. But, I mean, they have a system that's that way for a reason. And I struggle with that. But also, like, sometimes people just... they don't want your help. Or they want your help, but they don't want to... they want a quick, easy fix or something, and it's not... it's really hard. And so you have to have a line of... it's one of the reasons why, like, when I started to study psychology, I thought about becoming a therapist. Like, who doesn't? Who's going to study psychology, right? And I quickly realized, like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can leave all that at home all the time. Like, because you hear some really awful shit. And, like... and then, like, what if, say you've got somebody who is... wanting to hurt themselves, and you think that you're making progress, and then they do it. Like, that's rough. And like, talking to my therapist about it, it was like, you just have to do the best you can to the ability of the system you're in. And also, because as a forensic psychology student, I quickly learned that is also a very limited system, right? The justice system is not equipped to handle a lot of mental health challenges, and you are also bound by the courts and the law enforcement and things. And so, like, you have a very limited scope of what you can and can't do, and you have to work within that, and you have to accept that, okay, I did the best I can with what I was given and with my boundaries, right? And that's hard. It's very hard.
But I am eager to learn how you developed this desire to help our kin find a different way of thinking.
Well, like I told you when I first V-mailed you, I was a real nasty son of a bitch when I first became a vampire. When I look back and see what a no-account piece of shit I was, I ain't nothing but embarrassed. It all seems pretty stupid to me now. Here we are living forever, and all we can do is kill? That's the dumbest thing I ever did hear.
I am going to stop you for a moment. Stupid, no-account piece of shit, nasty son of a bitch, dumbest thing. Do you hear the way you are talking about yourself?
With respect, sir, I earned all them names. I killed women and children. Half the ghost towns out west are my doing. I didn't think of nobody but myself.
Pretend you are my therapist. If I sat here and called myself a no-account piece of shit, what would you tell me?
I'm not going to get into my rant about this again.
I'd say you were doing some labeling. And I guess I'd tell you to look at yourself a little more kindly.
Yes, look at yourself kindly, but also don't ignore the fact that you were murdering and slaughtering people, and that's a part of your history. Like, okay.
Extend the same compassion to yourself then, Samuel. How are you to move on from being a nasty son of a bitch if you are labeling yourself? If you wish to be a guide to other vampires, you must start with compassion for them and for yourself. So, now that you've gotten all that horrible name-calling out of the way, please tell me, how did you find your sense of purpose?
Well, I was on the run, you see. The Wild West was ending, and the Pinkertons were starting to get the better of my gang. I went into hiding and found a strange group of folks out in the country. They knew I was an outlaw right away, but they didn't judge me for it. They didn't even care that I was a vampire. They welcomed me like a friend, even shared their blood with me. They taught me how to appreciate the beauty of the night, and I started seeing things I'd never noticed before. They taught me my letters, philosophy, and how to question things instead of being scared of them. I think about them every day of my own life. They somehow freed themselves of all the judgments of the time and were better off for it.
These must have been the 19th century American transcendentalists, yes?
Yes, sir. I'm glad I died when I did, because their like just don't exist no more. Once my community died out, I started walking. That was something else they taught me how to do. There ain't nothing like having a walk and a think. I walked in nature for about 90 years and just took in all the grace and beauty of my country. I guess I was kind of selfish, though. I should have been helping other vampires the way the transcendentalists helped me.
Why?
Why waste 90 years walking when I should have been helping others? Seems pretty obvious to me. I could have done a lot of good in that time.
Yes, but you needed that time to get to that realization.
But your should turns that which you could find fulfilling into a duty. You create an extrinsic motivator. Truth statements are another cognitive distortion, something created by your own mind. Nature asks almost nothing of you. Even if your should comes from a place of good, it creates undue pressure.
This is something I've struggled with a lot in my life.
And what do we do once we are pressured? We resent the shoulds. We procrastinate. And as you know, we have a lot of time to procrastinate.
I am still working on it and still struggle with it.
You got that right. Why do today what you could do next century?
Exactly.
Not procrastination, the
Should
should
statements remove
statements.
the intrinsic joy from that which you find fulfilling.
Should statements remove the intrinsic joy from that which you find fulfilling? That is very true. I'm not a procrastinator, but I am definitely someone who's like, you should be doing this instead. You should be doing that. You shouldn't be doing this. Like, my whole life.
Hold on, though. Ain't there some things we really should do?
Of course, there are things we must do. But nature herself tells us what they are. We invent the rest. Here, let me give you an exercise. Listen closely. See whether you can find the should statement that is a distortion. I should go to the vampire dentist. You know what they say. If you have bad fangs, you get bad blood.
That's not a distortion. You should go to the
I should
dentist.
drink blood today.
You should. You need blood to live.
I should take my blood partner Crimson out on a date.
That is a should statement because you should do what feels good, not because it's like by putting in the should statement, you're making it an obligation rather than something you want to do.
Saying you should take Crimson out on a date is a should statement. You've turned something you want to do into something you have to do.
Yeah.
That's right, Samuel. You know, I couldn't be more pleased with you. Your time in nature was clearly well spent.
Well, thanks, I suppose. But if you don't mind my saying so, I hope you're treating that mortal lady right.
Thank you. Please, ask her yourself. I imagine she would share her blood with you. You look like her type.
Hold on. I've only been in Europe for a couple of days. I ain't gonna go after my teacher's girlfriend.
She does what she wishes, and that is why I chose her as my blood partner. Samuel, even if it beats no longer, you have a good heart. I think you will be an excellent therapist.
I agree.
So far, that good heart of mine hasn't amounted to much, but I'm willing to give it my best shot.
You are uncomfortable with praise, aren't you, Samuel? Every time I say something positive, you find a way to negate it.
I just don't think I should be doing any bragging. I spent my first 50 years killing. I spent the next 90 walking in the woods. I've tried to walk a better path since then, but I ain't no saint, Auntie.
I did not say you were. Having met several so-called saints, I can attest that none of them were either. I understand your discomfort, Samuel. I, too, have done terrible things that I cannot erase. But is erasing the good I have done worthwhile?
Well, I guess when you put it like that, it sounds kind of silly.
That's exactly how the labeling should be handled. Like, I like that section of this game. The other stuff about, like, the earlier stuff about labeling, I don't particularly like, but I do like that. Yes, you're the bad you've done in your life should not be, or the good you've done in your life should not be negated by the bad you've done, right? If you are actively trying to do better. But you can't forget about the bad and just act like it never happened either.
It's another cognitive distortion, one that mortal psychologists call disqualifying the positive.
There was added to the journal, but we'll look at that after this wraps up.
I understand that the actions of your past are difficult to bear, but what we are here to do is accept reality, with both its positive and negative aspects. I am not saying that you should disqualify your negative actions, but merely note when you disqualify the positive ones. Let us try an exercise. See whether you can challenge me when I disqualify my positive deeds. I am Andromachos, one of the most powerful vampires alive. Before I became the vampire I am now, I did exceptionally terrible things. I have defiled the innocent. I have killed countless people. The good I now do pales in comparison to the evil I have done.
That's disqualified.
That's the one. You're literally disqualifying the positive by comparing it to the evil stuff you done.
Well done, Samuel. I believe the recognition of this distortion will serve you well when you start to see clients tomorrow.
That's the key. The comparison is what you should not be doing. You should not forget about the bad and only focus on the good. You should not only focus on the bad and forget about the good. There should be no comparison in between. You should be able to look at both equally and arrive at a place of the person you hope to be, want to be, currently are, whatever. But yeah, the comparison is the issue, if that makes sense. I don't know if I've worded that correctly.
Whoa, tomorrow? I only just started learning these here cognitive distortion things.
I will, of course, be with you. You needn't worry. I can sense your instincts and will help you.
But tomorrow, I just don't feel ready yet.
My friend, we are never truly ready. But if it would ease your concerns, we can practice with further examples. Would that be helpful to you?
I mean, I already did this because I did this yesterday, but we'll go ahead and do it again. Yeah, I'll use some
Yeah, I
help.
think I could use the help.
Very well, Samuel. Let's try some examples. I will give you a statement, and you find the cognitive distortion in it. I am far sexier than movie vampires. Therefore, I should be a movie star.
Oh, yeah, that's an easy one. That's a should statement right there. You're not insecure enough to be an actor anyway.
The should ones are usually pretty easy because it usually has the word should in there.
Excellent, Samuel. Would you like another exercise?
Yeah,
If
sure.
I cannot consume high-quality blood, I might as well drink blood from Florida.
That's Nosferatu thinking.
That's Nosferatu thinking, ain't it?
Correct, Samuel.
Black and white, polarized
That being
thinking.
said, I am sure there is still decent blood to drink in Florida, but I would bring a test kit anyway.
Poor Floridians, they really get... I mean, I'm a Texan, we get the shit end of the stick too, but Florida really gets it.
Would you like another exercise?
Sure.
I am an antediluvian old fart.
Labeling, obviously.
Well, that sounds like labeling to me. You ain't just an old fart. Are you actually older than the flood, though?
Do I look that old?
Oh, not at all. I was just...
I am joking, Samuel. Don't worry. The myth of the flood was at least 1,000 years before I was born. Would you like another exercise?
Sure.
With my terrifying powers, I know I shall never be destroyed.
That's a control
I think that's a
fallacy.
control fallacy. Unless you know something I don't.
That's correct, Samuel. Though my powers are indeed phenomenal, the universe holds mysteries and dangers I cannot fathom. Would you like another exercise?
We'll do one more because then we'll have done all of the distortions.
I may hold vast knowledge, but acquiring it was inevitable thanks to my immortality.
I know that one. That's disqualifying the positive for sure.
That was a cleverly worded one.
I knew you would catch that one. Would you like another exercise?
No, we're good.
I think I'm good.
All right, Samuel. You must be hungry now. I suggest you get the liter inside you. We have a big night tomorrow.
How much is a liter?
Just get enough to drink, Samuel. We will not be able to work if you are hungry or tired. Now, please excuse me. I do have a date with Crimson tonight. I suspect I shall not return until nearly morning.
Oh, yeah, of course. I hope you have a nice night out, Mr. Andy.
You as well, Samuel. Rest in peace.
Okay, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, and then we will pick right back up from here.
Samuel, glad to see you are awake. Your first client is on his way.
All right, I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's get started. Or let's continue, I guess. Oh, actually, let's read the distortions from yesterday first. Oh, why does it close it like that when I try to go to the next page? Annoying. Oh, I didn't want to go to the... Okay, yeah, let's go to distortions. See if there's anything new. Because there should be, yeah, the should statements. Sometimes we judge others and ourselves with arbitrary rules on how things should be, and then we get hoppin' mad when our expectations ain't met. Should statements can put a lot of pressure on us, but there ain't too many universal rules. Heck, we should probably be dead because our hearts ain't beating, but it seems that ain't true. Examples. I'm a vampire. I should live in a castle. When you're in a gang, the gang needs to be your family and no one else. A cowboy must never show fear. Disqualifying the positive. On account of the nasty stuff I've done, I can feel like a real good-for-nothing sometimes, but that's disqualifying the positive, canceling out the good and leaving the bad. It ain't a distortion to see the positive in yourself or in a situation. It's just being honest. Examples. The Three Stooges just smack each other in the heads a bunch, though I still like them. Yeah, I guess I can turn into a bat, but any vampire with their fangs can do that. She rescued a kitten, but she drinks mortal blood every night, so one good deed means nothing. Alright, so we don't have any clients yet. Oh wait, let's see if he journaled. Nope, okay. First client.
What, already? Look, Mr. Andy, sir, are you sure I'm ready for this? These are people's brains I'm messing with.
Fear not, my friend. You are a powerful vampire in your own right. To be so young and have so much empathy is quite a gift. All you need to do is listen, and I know the truth will reveal itself to you.
Shucks, wish I had your confidence.
Well, to a limited extent, I can see the future. If you are about to misinterpret a client's distortions, I will set you back on the right path.
See in the future.
You can see the future?
What?
It's not that impressive, really. You start to see the patterns after 1,000 years or so.
Disqualifying the
Well,
positive.
dang. If seeing the future ain't impressive, that's gotta be a distortion. Disqualifying the positive, it's gotta be.
You barely require my aid as it is. If you need guidance, I will provide it to you telepathically. Don't think about it too much. When you are 3,000, such things will cease to impress you. Let us look at your first client's case file.
Dr. Drain, huh? You ain't got no first name?
Okay, let's read the file before they continue talking. We got Dr. Drain. He's 430 years old. He's male and he's from England. Intake information. Dr. Drain is a class of 1,614 graduates of the Royal College of Physicians. He has been studying the nature of blood for the last several centuries. Became a vampire after a post-mortem blood transfusion experiment. Wow. Now runs a global pharmaceutical research company. Is now concerned that he has developed an addiction to a drug of his own formulation. Suggestion. Detected strong irritability on the phone. Investigate Drain's drinking and sleeping habits.
Many vampires go by one name. Families and titles seem to become more abstract after a certain age.
Huh. So is it funny that he kept the title?
Indeed. You catch on quickly, despite your habit of disqualifying the positive.
He finds a lot of identity in his title.
I will let you work now. I shall be meditating in my coffin, but I will sense when you need my help.
But I...
Samuel, I know you can handle this. Be yourself, and all will be well.
Satan bless it all, I hate flying!
Oh my gosh.
Hey there. God's blood, what on earth are you? My name's Sam. I'm the new therapist. Make yourself comfortable, Dr. Drain. And American as well. Good God. It's not enough for you lot to take over the world of the living. Even the halls of the dead aren't safe from you.
You're one to talk, British guy.
Oh well. I suppose your lot are all into this touchy-feely stuff, aren't you? And ignorance, even American ignorance, is bliss, I suppose. Oh, sweet ignorance, how I do wish I knew thee. Damn it, how am I gonna work with this fella? I gotta ask Annie.
Are you all right, Samuel?
You gave me this fella as my first client?
Why not? He is clearly hiding very little about his state of mind.
How am I supposed to help him when he already sees me as the bad guy?
Use your instincts, Samuel. Think about how you have felt in your darkest hours. What does this poor vampire want?
I know this because of crisis counseling. Like, a lot of the times people really just want someone to complain to. And they just kind of want you. I mean, I'm sure that probably people that work in customer service experience this too. I've never worked in customer service, but I would assume that sometimes people just want somebody to yell at. And that's really all they want. They just want to be released that anger. He just wants to complain.
I think he just wants to complain.
Perceptive, Samuel. He can hardly stop himself, can he?
And I should make it clear that when I say people in crisis counseling, there are people who are in actual crises, whether that is some kind of suicidal thing, or they are food insecure, housing insecure, things like that. But a lot of the time you get people who are just like, hey, I'm upset and I just need someone to talk to, and they don't have anybody in their everyday lives to talk to. You get a lot of teenagers too who do that, and those are the easiest calls, but also like kind of the funnest, I guess, because there's no real stake in it, right? Like, somebody's not going to die, like, they're not like really hurting themselves. They just want to talk about boy drama or their work or things like that. And so yeah, it's a wide range. I think when people think of crisis counseling, they think of like always the worst case scenarios, and it's not really. It's some I mean, it is not always is what I should say, not really. Not always. It is sometimes people just being like, hey, I'm upset and I don't want to talk to anybody in my real life about this, so can I talk to you? And that's what we're there for. If you ever need those services, take advantage of them. The people there that are doing it, we volunteer our time. We're not paid to do it. I mean, some people are, but most people are not. And we do it because we really actually care, and we want you to feel better. And we want to give you somebody to listen to. Want to give you someone who will listen to you.
So, what? I just let him complain?
Yes, let him complain.
Of course. Just give him a starting point to let it all out. It will make him feel better.
Well, if you say so.
Don't worry, Samuel. You are doing wonderfully. I will release your time now.
Well, are you just going to sit there?
I liked that phrase he used. I will release your time now. That was a nice phrase.
I was just gonna ask how your trip here was.
My trip? My trip was bloody wonderful. Until my familiar got a flat tire and I had to fly 30 kilometers here as a bat. I hate being a bat and I hate flying. Do you know an owl tried to eat me? Me, a creature that has lived for centuries, treated like common prey. I'm surprised he was even interested. You should see what an ugly little beastie I am when I transform. All I could do was screech and squeak until he went away. Well, I suppose I'm alive, in a manner of speaking anyway. You all right there, pal? Yes, I'm fine. Well, I'm not, of course. I wouldn't be here otherwise. But for the sake of conversational integrity, fine. I take it you've read my case file and know why I'm here?
Yeah, you have an addiction.
You're here for an addiction problem.
Yes. Embarrassing, isn't it?
No, it's not embarrassing. People get addicted to things. It's not embarrassing.
Well, what's to be embarrassed about? I remember when Ulysses S. Grant was president. Didn't seem to bother him.
Oh, well, of course. How wonderful it is that I share the mental failings of people who only live a single lifetime.
Hey, come on now. There's a part of us that's still mortal. Can't help that, just like we can't help being dead.
So I'm discovering. Look, I just need some tips and I'll be on my way. Just give me all the tricks, whatever one does to make addictions go away.
That's another thing a lot of people do for crisis counseling is they come in and they're like, hey, just tell me exactly what I need to do to fix this problem or these feelings I'm having or this situation I'm in. And it's like, first of all, I don't know you. I've only met you this like one time and I'm not even really meeting you. It's like a phone line, right? Or a text line. Like, there's only so much I can do. And also like therapy, like in this situation with this doctor here, the scientist, whatever he is, therapy takes a long time and a lot of work. You don't just go for one session, hell, not even 10 sessions probably before you start really making any progress. Like it's a lot. It takes a long time. It's a lot of work and it's fucking hard sometimes.
Tips. Let me think.
There is no easy fix, is what I'm trying to say, for any situation. Yeah, there are no easy solutions. I mean, you could give him a hug, and food's always good too, but there's no easy solution.
Partner, there ain't no tips that'll magically cure you, but I'm here to listen.
You know, I never in my life thought anyone would ever call me partner. Like partner, but not with a T.
And I know how you English love your tea.
Thank goodness we can still process tea. We cannot live on blood alone.
Can you have coffee, though? That'd be my question.
I appreciate the concern, though. I must admit, I rather saw myself above this whole addiction thing.
That's a problem, sir.
I tell you what, let's not worry about being above or below anything. You're here now, so let's see what we can do. What exactly are you addicted to?
It's a form of plasma, a catalytic compound of my own design, a necessary component of my own scientific goals.
You're losing me.
Well, let me try to make it simple. I have been able to replicate and even alter the molecular patterns that vampiric erythrocyte surface receptors receive.
Okay.
Our unique physiology gives us an increased ligand affinity, which is how we are able to process blood the way that we do. I can extend this receptivity and thus achieve my true goal: synthetic blood, freedom from the hunger that plagues us, and hope for all humanity.
That's a noble goal.
Well, dang, that sounds pretty impressive, Doc.
Well, it doesn't work without a vampiric catalyst, and that is the plasma I am addicted to. Pathetic, isn't it? I have spent 400 years trying to steal the secret of blood, only to be engulfed by it, like Prometheus walking into a fireplace.
Disqualifying the positive.
Pathetic? Doc, where the heck would you get a word like that? You've come up with a synthetic blood. Man, I can barely get my spurs on some mornings. Maybe you've had a setback or two, but give yourself a little credit, compadre.
Credit? For wasting 400 years? Practically
not wasted.
speaking, I'm in the same place as I was back when King James was in power. Only now I have a drug problem.
No.
Perhaps I must face facts. My professor was right. Nothing we ever do will make a damned bit of difference.
That is a sad way to live. I've known people that feel like that, and that sucks. Like, whoa, what is the, like, how do you find a point, a purpose, if you feel like that? And it's not true.
Samuel, listen to him. Do you recognize his patterns of thought?
There's some distortions in there, ain't there?
Oh, yeah.
I knew you would sense them. Invite him to talk more about this failure of his.
I'll do my best. Now, hold on just a minute there, cowpoke. I've heard you talk a lot about failure, but it sure sounds to me like you ain't thinking clearly if you think you're a failure. I am a realist, that's all. Look at me. 400 years of study and still dabbling with leukocytes. I don't know many people who would call working with leukocytes dabbling. I mean, I gotta admit, I have no earthly clue what you're talking about. So unless you made up all them science terms, I think you might be doing more than playing with a chemistry set. Perhaps, but if we consider all there is to know about blood, I know precious little. But you know something. Yes, I concede I might know something about blood. I would hope so after 400 years. You still got more knowledge about blood than most, whether it's been 4 years or 400 years, amigo. Let's get back to what you were saying, though. I'm saying I am surely the oldest, most well-studied doctor in the world. I should have achieved more than this.
Should have.
Well, who said you should have achieved more? Isn't it obvious? I should have something to show for 400 years of work.
You're the only one putting those shoulds on you, my brother. And I get it, because I do the same thing.
And what happens if you don't? Absolutely nothing at all.
Which is not, it's comforting, but it's also not comforting.
Well, that's my point. That is not as encouraging as you think it is.
Exactly.
Ain't meant to be encouraging, just showing you a little reality. Well, it's all my fault, really. I cannot seem to motivate my scientists to reach the necessary level of dedication. It's always shocking to me how little urgency mortals have around death.
I think that's control fallacy.
So it's all your fault that you haven't come up with the perfect synthetic blood. It can't be anyone else's fault. Only I have the skill, the knowledge, and the experience. Pardon me for saying so, Doc, but it sounds like what you're doing is pretty dang complicated. It sounds to me like you're some kind of god if you expect control over life itself.
And to be able to do it all on your own without the help of anybody else.
Please, I'm a scientist, not a spiritualist. It is not control I seek, but understanding. And are you ever gonna have perfect understanding? No, of course not. I'm not a wizard. So how about not putting saving the world on one person, Doc? That is a simplification, but I take your point. As I was saying, now that I'm addicted to my own drug, I have joined the ranks of mortal celebrities in my utter irrelevance.
I think that's black and white. No, it might be labeling.
Now, why would you go and label yourself irrelevant?
Yeah.
What else do you call a man who has nothing to show after 400 years? I reckon I'd call him by his given name. Slapping a label on yourself don't do nothing but weigh you down. Oh, well played, cowpoke. Perhaps I am being a little dramatic. Yes, I'm aware that in reality progress has been made, enough to get to this point. But I didn't come here to ask for a pat on the back and to be told I'm a good boy. That ain't my department, but I hear they do some of that stuff downstairs. Yes, we all know very well that the Continentals are more sexually liberated than we are.
Is that true about England, though? I don't think it is.
But as I say, I don't want all this therapy stuff. I just want to stop using this damn drug. So what's so good about this stuff anyway? Why do you like it?
Therapy will help you, bud. Therapy will help you stop using the drug.
I'm not certain. I don't remember what happens after I take it, but I wake up feeling, how do I put this, alive. Well, that don't sound so bad. A good nap can make me feel like a new man. I'm not talking about feeling refreshed. I mean I feel alive. As if I'm someone else. Someone who lives. And I wake up and find, oh gracious me, I am not depressed.
Well, there you go.
You mean to tell me that you're going to sleep depressed every night? Oh, nothing of the sort. Oh well, I'm glad to hear that. You are assuming that I can simply go to sleep and my global scientific enterprise will run itself. Oh wait just a gosh darn minute, you're telling me you don't sleep? Yes, it's not as though we can get much deader already, and I have work to do. So you're not sleeping, and you're always depressed. I think we're starting to get somewhere. Oh, don't be such a bumpkin. If you are a sapient individual, aware of the world around you, depression is the only sensible reaction. It has nothing to do with sleep.
Wait, okay. If you are a sapient individual aware of the world around you, depression is the only sensible reaction. I think that is a it's either a control fallacy or Nosferatu thinking. I think it's Nosferatu.
Come on now, it's a big world out there, and different things are depressing to different people. Everyone reacts to things differently. Ain't it true that a sensible person, as you call them, might even be a different degree of depressed?
Very true.
Very well. I suppose I might have been using a bit of mild hyperbole.
Mild is putting it mildly, buckaroo.
Buckaroo.
Buckaroo? Now I'm even more depressed. Regardless, I didn't come here to be a whiner. Oh, boo-hoo, life is hard. Yes, we all know it's hard.
You're labeling
Now, why'd you say coming and talking to me makes you a whiner?
Is that not what I currently am?
Sounds to me like you're expressing yourself. Whiner is the word you used. Yeah, if you want to call it whining, that's up to you. But that's entirely your label.
Oh, very well. Call it moaning or whinging if you prefer.
Moaning, whinging, bellyaching, still all just labels.
I don't believe I shall be using the term bellyaching in any case. But as I was saying, in the moments I wake up, I feel free. I suppose it must be what being an ignoramus feels like.
So you're telling me you feel good when you wake up, and then you call yourself an ignoramus? Before you even get a chance to reflect on feeling good, you're insulting yourself.
Disqualifying the positive.
That's what I like to call disqualifying the positive.
I'm simply stating facts. Stating facts shouldn't impede an argument.
I mean, I understand that point of view, too.
What good is that fact doing anyone? It's about as useful as an empty holster.
Yeah, but...
Lest I somehow forget that you were a cowboy. About this drug, though. Oh, very well. I suppose I might be discounting my experience.
I don't know how to say this, amigo. You really don't like letting yourself be happy. Honestly, I'm failing to see the problem with taking this stuff. Seems like it's making you get the rest you need, and it makes you feel good. What's the problem?
First of all, I do not need to rest.
Yes, you do.
And partaking of this plasma does have downsides.
What kind of downsides?
I do not know what happens when I partake of the substance. However, when I wake up, I feel refreshed. But I also smell of blood and sex.
I mean, the problem here is that you're blacking out. Like, that's not good.
Once I even woke up wearing a football jersey. It was most distasteful.
I guess you must be having some kind of good time.
That is not my idea of a good time. I'm Dr. Drain. I am intelligent and worldly, not some ill-bred monster.
Can't you be a little bit of both?
I don't go gallivanting into godforsaken places to engage in depraved coitus and the consumption of dirty blood.
That sounds problematic.
It sounds to me like you're real good at denying yourself things.
And looking down on people for the things that they do.
Well, I should be better at it.
You know, Doc, a wise old vampire recently told me something I'm about to tell you. You keep talking about the things you should be doing. You, compadre, are shoulding all over yourself.
Oh, well, that is vivid, isn't it? I can now add incontinence to my already considerable list of faults.
I'm being serious. I'm listening to you tell me I should be doing this, and I shouldn't be doing that. But who gave you all them shoulds and shouldn'ts?
I don't know. It shouldn't matter, should it? I've been dead for over 400 years.
It's the oldest stuff that sticks with us, amigo. We all got traumas. Heck, we're dead men. That's traumatic no matter what. What we gotta start with is you. You've been through a lot. Don't rope yourself up so tight. Listen, we're doing good work already, I know it. Now, let's not push too hard. I would really like you to think about where all them shoulds are coming from before we meet again. And be good to yourself, all right, partner? Don't feel like you gotta go cold turkey on that plasma stuff.
Yes, well, all the same, I'd rather not do it at all.
Is that actually gonna happen, though?
It might.
You're dipping into it tonight, aren't you?
I was thinking about it.
I was thinking about it.
All right, partner. Just give yourself a little compassion. That's all I'm asking.
I'll admit, you've given me some things to think about. Not pleasant ones, mind.
You can handle it, partner. You're way smarter than I am.
Yes, well, that is certainly true. Very well. I shall do some reflecting, inasmuch as our kind can reflect.
I love how he just automatically assumes he's smarter than the cowboy.
I shall see you in precisely 4 weeks, then. Farewell, sir.
4 weeks? That's a long time. I guess maybe not if you're a vampire, but that's a long time.
Masterfully done, Samuel. I knew you would do well, but that doesn't make me any less pleased.
Because I did this already. Masterfully done. All right.
Well, that was a hell of a rush. That fella's holding on tighter than a holster to a gunslinger's hip. It felt real good to help him look at himself a little more kindly.
Good, Samuel. Treasure this feeling. But also rest. Go downstairs, get something to drink, relax in your coffin. Next week you shall see a new client. I think they will be an interesting challenge for you. I bid you good evening, Samuel. Rest in peace.
You too, Andy.
Okay, I think this is where I'm going to wrap up. This is where I ended yesterday in the recording that didn't work out. So actually, let's look at the journal first. Yeah, we got a client record now. Dr. Drain, 4:30, male, he's English. We already read that. Oh, so we're not getting any notes yet. All right, here we go. I think we did miss some journal entries before. I thought that I thought it was later in April that we ended. Okay, April 11th. Phew, what a day. I made it to Andy's club in Leipzig. Folks are real nice here. A couple of goths were real friendly. They've got a darn tootin' bartender and even a friendly greeter. He don't talk too much, but I can tell he's an introspective sort. Now Andy, that's one hell of a vampire. He's just got this presence. You can tell he's 3,000 and it's freaky as heck, but he makes you feel at home. But naked. I don't know how else to describe it. Oh, and I went to a kink room. Yeah, Sam Wall's kink room. My big brother would have gotten a kick out of that one. I ain't gonna write about it here. I should get some sleep in this fancy coffin Andy lent me anyway. April 12th. I figured I can't read. I learned some more therapy stuff today. Figure I've been doing a lot of this disqualifying the positive thing. I feel like I've got to be humble after the shit I pulled back when I was a bastard. But maybe that's just the shame talking. Andy says I'm ready to start seeing clients now that I've got my head wrapped around this whole cognitive distortion thing. Can't believe it's all happening so fast. Went for a nice walk exploring Leipzig. There's a musical school here and the kids are always performing stuff. I tried asking for Oh Susanna, but kids today don't appreciate good music. Dang kids with their CD-ROM music. The wax cylinder was fine. Okay, I guess we'll get client notes maybe after the next day. But like I said, I think I'm going to stop here. The curtain's going to close. And we will pick up here in the next episode.
Well, I guess it's time I got me some grub.
Here we go. All right, I'll see you guys next time.